And today, ladies and gents, you're going to get a tour from the top of an old Routemaster bus from the Old Bailey to Tower Hill. And this particular old Routemaster bus, ALD 94 1B, on the Heritage Route 15. New to London in 1964 and operated until 1986, when it went to Kelvin Scottish, followed by a stagecoach in 1987. On returning to London, it was allocated to Route 23 before being reallocated to Route 38. In 2008, it was repainted into white relief band and white Randall style. And what I like about this bus is that we've been able to trace its history photographically. This is it on the right, marked with the blue arrow with the Winston Churchill posters on. 1st of October, so it's just 1 year old, or barely just 1 year old when we catch it here. There's two of them there going to Ladbroke Grove, and it used to go all the way from East Ham to Ladbroke Grove. It was one of the longest journeys you could take. Now goes from Tower Hill to Trafalgar Square. This isn't our exact bus, but it is one of that class, and such a great image I just couldn't resist showing it. A lady reads the World Cup edition of El Dia, the Uruguayan newspaper, outside the offices of the Daily Express and Sunday Express in London, Saturday the 9th of July 1966. And here is our Routemaster bus, the one we're going to be on, outside the Press Association offices on the 1st of July 1970. And here we catch it in its last historic image on the 2nd of June 1979, heading towards East Ham. Don't know exactly where this picture was taken, but a great image nonetheless. And now you're going to join me on board and from the top of the Routemaster bus, and I hope you're all going to enjoy the journey. Site of the old Ludgate just here. On the right, we're going past. Central Criminal Court's on the left. The old Bank of England. That's meant to be nice in there, that pub. On the right, what we're just going past, you've got Prince Henry's room. We're on Fleet Street. Ye Old Cock Tavern, that's one that I've yet to do. to St Paul's soon. Coming up just on the right, the green building is called the Tipperary. It was closed for a good few years and it's very recently reopened, so I'll be covering it soon. We've just gone past Ye Old Cheshire Cheese. That has been covered and will be hitting the page soon. Salisbury Court over there. That's how my Pips was born. I'll show you on our bus. Another great couple of pubs on the right over here. The Old Bell and Punch Tavern, and just round the corner there you've got the Crown and Sugarloaf, all of which I've covered. And just over here, just unplug you for a minute, just over there you've got St Bride's, Fleet Street, and that spire up there is said to have been the inspiration for the tiered wedding cake. An apprentice baker who fell in love with his master's daughter, thought he would make the most impressive wedding cake he could and modelled it on that spire apparently, and that's said to have been the inspiration for the tiered wedding cake. There you've got the Bell, there you've got Punch Tavern, just over here. Crown and Sugarloaf just coming up over here. The Punch Tavern is a famous one, where all the journalists from Punch magazine used to drink. Originally, before this was built in the 1830s, there was a pub there called the Crown and Sugarloaf, and that was one of the old pubs that Peeps used to drink in. Bride Lane, this is where we're looking down here now. I'll just pause you for a sec till the lights change, and off we go. Crown and Sugarloaf just there, and look at some of the beautiful architecture on the buildings along Fleet Street. Farringdon Street there. But St Paul's, what we see before us. Sorry about the bumpiness, this is an old bus and the roads are being resurfaced slowly, so it is what it is.
St Paul's Cathedral!
The Church of St Martin within Ludgate. Of course, this great building needs very few explanations. St Paul's. There's a monument to Queen Anne just there. Off we go. Take you to the side window now for the Great St Paul's. King George III stood on those steps, as well as many other monarchs. Queen Victoria on her jubilees. the dome, what it's most famous for. St Paul's School just there. The rebuilt version anyway, and then rebuilt again. The old school that Pepys went to at one point. There's a lot of Pepys still left in London, and a lot of his memory. And we're lucky really, because we know most about 17th century London because of so many Pepys. Just pause you a sec. While we're paused here, you get to see just some of the beautiful architecture of St Paul's. Very impressive and imposing building, as it was meant to be. If you come on one of these old Routemaster buses, which are running again now, they take cash, or you can pay by bank card, like just tap, but they do not do Oyster cards, so be aware. And it is just the price of a regular journey. One of London's impressive fountains over there. Back memories sitting on one of these. Saying to my mum and my nan, can we go and sit upstairs? It's been years since I've been on one of these. I jumped off of one when I was a teenager while it was moving along the Barking Road and smashed into the railings. Such wonderful days. I'll just pause you till this traffic gets moving. And off we go, slowly making our way. See St Paul's School over there. If you want a nice little, not hidden, but very nice garden where you'll be able to take some pretty amazing reflection photographs, just walk through that gate just there where I'm pointing. Very nice. And I'm going to unplug it quickly and move you over to the other side again, because I want to show you something pretty amazing. I think it is anyway. On the side of this building here, and it's known as the Zodiac Clock. We're just going past now. The building is Bracken House, and here is the Zodiac Clock. That looks absolutely stunning when it's lit up at night. It's all lit up at night time. Such pretties. Back over to this side. Let's pause you a sec. And off we slowly begin to trundle. There has been a protest at India House today, a gas leak at Trafalgar Square, and the roads are up intermittently in between Ludgate Hill and the Tower, so hence all the traffic and the pausing and whatnot. I thought I'd pause you rather than sit here and bore you with my voice. Bread Lane just down there. of the old streets and that kept their names after the fire and the war damage and everything like that as well. Coming up to rather a special church in a minute on our left. It serves as a cafe coffee bar in the week. It does have services on a Sunday and Orthodox services as well. But there's some interesting characters buried in it, including a surgeon called Percival Pott. He was a pioneer in several things. He had a compound fracture in his leg, which in those days normally meant an amputation, which refused. And with the help of a friend, he devised a splint and it was treated. And he was basically one of the first to successfully treat compound fractures in legs rather than amputate. He was also the first man to associate industrial diseases with work, called chimney sweep's cancer, which was associated with Surgeon Pott. He worked at St Bartholomew's Hospital. And we're going to be seeing that church in a minute. Bow Lane there, a very old and famous lane. And here is the church, St Mary Aldermary. Nice to go in there and have a cup of coffee, and they do snacks and things as well now, so that's nice. I surreptitiously climbed to the bell tower, at the top of the bell tower of that one Sunday when the Orthodox service was going on. It was so full of smoke and chanting in there, no one noticed any different anyway. Bless them. St Mary Aldermary. Another famous pub which I'm yet to cover, the Sugarloaf. I will cover that one soon. Queen Street just here, and that leads you onto Southwark Bridge. Tucked around here and down the back there is a little church known as St James Garlic Hithe, and it's got a mummy in its crypt which you can't see because obviously for reasons of decency they don't let people go and see him. But he's known as Jimmy Garlic. He was found under some pews, buried in the parish coffin, and the location that he was buried in is very dry and cool, and it mummified his body, and he rests in the crypt to this day. If you go round there, down that road down there, and you will come to a little church called St James Garlic Hithe. I will warn you though, if you go round that way, and please don't think I'm being chauvinistic because I'm not like that, if you're a woman, I hope you can look after yourself, or don't go on your own, because there's some dodgy characters around that little street. College Hill there, and the church in which Dick Whittington is buried, or was originally buried. This here, this famous little London landmark, is a reminder that under our feet runs a lost river, the River Walbrook. And just down that street there is a church called St Stephen Walbrook, which was once on its banks and is now in a street. The river runs under our feet. The Georgians and Victorians covered over a lot of the rivers because they were turned into sewers basically, and they wanted the land to build on. So it killed two birds with one stone, got rid of the revoltingness and pumped it out into the Thames and gave them land to build on. Pause you till the lights change. Cannon Street Station. If you like modern architecture, you'll like that one. There's where St Stephen Walbrook is down there. There's Cannon Street. Goodness gracious me. I've been knocked about cruel. And just in this alcove here is a very, very famous piece of London stone. Very, very ancient piece of stone where Jack Cade stood on that, and lots of history associated with it. Church down there, it was once a church. Big stone. That church, it's a little church garden now. And if you go there, the daughter of Rhys ap Griffith, I think it was, of Wales, was buried in there, imprisoned in the Tower of London. Here you've got the very new bank station next to the Church of St Mary. St Mary Ab Church, the bank station. A very plain piece of goods if ever I saw one. Off we trundle. Martin Lane just there, another lost church, and there is a pub down there which I fairly recently learned about, so I'll be covering that one soon. It was a merchant's house, 17th century, and one of the few buildings that supposedly survived the Great Fire of London was converted into a pub. Has some really nice 18th century features. Around there is, you can just see the tower of it just there. St Clement Eastcheap. St Clement Eastcheap and St Clement Danes argue with each other about whose church is who in the nursery rhyme of Oranges and Lemons at the bells of St Clement's. And up there you can just see the top of the monument to the Great Fire of London. If that fell over in a certain direction, it would land you exactly at the doorstep of Thomas Fariner, where the fire began. It was designed in such a way so if it was laid down, its tip would reach the very doorstep of Thomas Fariner. And round here, around this side, is London Bridge. Until the, not modern, but until the other bridges went up, it was London's only bridge, and it was known as the Bridge. Really, after the other bridges went up, then it became known as London Bridge. And it was purchased by the Americans, who supposedly, as the story goes, thought they were purchasing Tower Bridge, and ended up with the old stone London Bridge. Oh yeah, I've been knocked about cruel, as a Cockney Victorian person would say. Public toilets there, they're closed now, like most public toilets in London. I think they do it so they can fine you the £85 when they catch you peeing in the street. If you must go in a bottle and empty it into a toilet when you get to one, then they can't fine you then. It's not very nice, I know, but it's one in the eye for society, isn't it? Although peeing in the street isn't that nice, but what do you do if they take away all the public conveniences? Pudding Lane, where the Great Fire of London began.
Anyone from Monument Station?
No, thank you. This building here, on it somewhere, is London's smallest statue or monument, which is two mice fighting over a piece of cheese, and that represents two labourers of the 19th century who were building this building. One of them stole the other one's lunch, and they had a fight over it. It fell, and I don't know if it was both or one of them fell to their death. And I must get off one day and try and find it. They go to the Tower of London, so you've joined me from the Royal Courts of Justice or the Old Bailey on Fleet Street to the Tower of London by old Routemaster bus, and I hope you very much enjoyed it. I like the girl who's the clippy on here. She's a Cockney, and she does not duck around, shall we say. Philpott Lane, Botolph Lane. It must be on the side of that building. I'll have to get off and have a look one day. We've got some beautiful buildings in London. The Victorians are very much into their Gothic and Gothic revivalism and such. In a minute, on our left, we'll be coming up to another lovely church I've covered, the Church of St Margaret Pattens, Guild Church of the Guild of Pattern Makers. It's got a little museum in there to pattern makers and its history. Of course, another mention in there of Samuel Pepys. And I'll be seeing that church in a sec. There it is. It is open most weekdays. Nice church, actually. One of the Wren churches that really hasn't been too botched around with its interior. Over there is St Mary at Hill, the street, and the church. There's clock tower, you'll see in a sec. Not tower, but clock struck. It's a struck clock. There we are. And that's the church just there. You go through an iron gate into its courtyard when it's open. And this church here, spire, All Hallows by the Tower, one of the oldest churches in London. Its foundation in the year 666, when it was founded by Barking Abbey as their London residence. And when the Vikings attacked the abbey at Barking, it was to this church that the nuns of Barking Abbey fled. Also famously as well, it was to the top of the tower of All Hallows Barking, as it was known, and still is sometimes known because of its kind of links to Barking Abbey, that Samuel Pepys climbed to survey the Great Fire of London. And it sits proudly at the Tower of London just there. We think the Tower of London is a fascinating, interesting museum where you go to have a good time. But what you have to remember is when the tower was built by the Normans, which was a motte and bailey at first and then a stone structure, it certainly wouldn't have been like that for the Londoners. It was built as a symbol to tell the Londoners in no uncertain terms, you are a subjugated people. And a lot of the Londoners were drafted in as basically slaves, really, to build a lot of these structures that the Normans threw up. And just on my right here, St Dunstan's Hill, is the beautiful little ruined church garden of St Dunstan's in the east. I can only recommend it to you, ladies or gents, to nip down there, and it's lovely. It's always busy, but it's lovely. It really is nice. On the right here as well, just there, is the Hung, Drawn and Quartered, which I have yet to cover, and will. When I first began the page, I thought I'd have London done within a year or two. Foolish me. Church of All Hallows by the Tower, and on the next left is Seething Lane, where the old Navy office was, and where of course Samuel Pepys lived, and leads on to Hart Street, where the Church of St Olave's Hart Street is, where he and his wife Elizabeth lie buried. here we are. You're going to get your first proper look at the Church of All Hallows by the tower. Here it is. Well worth it. It's got a museum crypt as well. You'll spend a good hour in that one if you're like me. There is Seething Lane. That's where the Navy office was, just there. And if you go further down that way, that will lead you to St Olave's Hart Street. St Ethelburga there. Barking Abbey was founded for by her brother St Erkenwald, Bishop of London. And this is new. Look, you've got a little pop-up cafe and things opened up there. Tower of London and Admiralty Gardens, which is a large memorial. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our tour. Tower of London. And we shall now leave the bus.
Tower of London, last stop!
Off we go.
Thank you! How was that?
Brilliant, enjoyed that.
Amazing! Alright, yeah, wicked.
Thanks very much. I really did.
Have a good day, alright?
And you, take care, wish you well, thank you.
And that's the Routemaster. Take care, wish you well. Cheers. A lovely girl. There we go. And that was our ride on an old Routemaster bus. Hope you all enjoyed, ladies and gents, and thank you for watching.